Welcome to Kanpai Planet, I'm Mac, and together with my friends Roland and Stefan and the team at Kanosuke, we created a triptych of whiskey bottlings that will join the ranks of the iconic Ghost series. I'll take you on our epic journey to Kagoshima, giving you a deep dive look at the Hioki Distillery operation, how we picked our casks, and the recipes for our 3 exclusive expressions. Ooh. It's 5:15 in the morning on Tuesday the 29th of August 2023 and I'm on my way to Haneda Airport to fly from Tokyo to Kagoshima to visit the Hioki Distillery, which is where the grain whiskey operation of Kanosuke is located, and it's there that myself and my friends Roland, the whiskey sifu, and world-renowned whiskey writer Stefan Van Eycken are going to have the honor of picking the first single cask to be released from Hioki. I'm excited. We continue. It's about an hour and 45 minutes scheduled flight to Kagoshima. Stefan and Roland are already down there, and I'm very much looking forward to joining them and beginning this exciting, unique whiskey adventure. Since starting Kanpai Planet in February 2021, I've met some amazing people in the whiskey world. 2 of them are now very close friends of mine. Roland, aka Whiskey Sifu, founder of the San Francisco Whiskey Club and the amazing Fog City Social Whiskey Festival, and Stefan Van Eycken, a veritable icon of Japan's drink scene, author of the seminal Whisky Rising, and creator of the Ghost series. The catalyst for our Hioki grain project came in January 2023. Kanosuke had recently started pouring samples of their Hioki grain output at festivals around Japan, and we just had to try the stuff. The guys are back with more and more aged Hioki grain. This is now 2 years. Fantastic. Okay, nomitai. Roland, Stefan and I were all instantly blown away. We even joked that we should persuade the Kanosuke folks to release a single cask bottling of their grain in the future. Soon after that, Roland started assisting Kanosuke in the US market, which eventually led to him becoming their general manager for the Americas. The 3 of us had not forgotten that promising Hioki grain whiskey, and Roland planted the seed for a special bottling project, one we could nurture from start to finish together. This extraordinary project leverages our respective strengths: Roland's US network, my Kanpai Planet platform and its global fan base, and the best possible framework to present our exclusive bottlings, Stefan Van Eycken's iconic Ghost series.
So with this project, we're creating Ghost number 23 in the series, and it's focused on Hioki grain whiskey. It's called the Ghost series because the artwork features woodblock prints from the last great ukiyo artist Yoshitoshi Tsukiyoka's final series called New Forms of 36 Ghosts. Also, of course, there's the resonance between ghosts, spirits, and what's actually in the bottle, the spirit of whiskey. The Ghost series is quirky, elusive, and evolving. I choose to focus on what's sort of unexpected. So the very first release back in 2013 was a Karuizawa, but it wasn't the usual bold, robust, oily, richly fruited Karuizawa that whiskey enthusiasts had gotten used to. It was a more light, a more elegant, and a more subtle Karuizawa. I didn't set out to make the Ghost series an iconic and highly collectible series, but it just turned out that way. But I also wanted to actually build in elusiveness with, for example, Ghost number 6, which was made available only to selected bars in Japan. I hand-delivered all those bottles to the bars. I had the bartenders open the bottles, and I was the first one to order a shot from those bottles. So in a way, the Ghost series is also a completist's worst nightmare. The progression of releases also reflects the changing landscape of Japanese whiskey, in that more recent releases tend to be younger. Ghost number 16, for example, was a Kanosuke, 3 years old, touching on 4, but as a second filled Chardonnay cask finish, it was very unique and very Ghost series worthy, I thought. The Ghost series is open to serendipity, and that's one of the fun things about it. So there really is no telling where this journey will take us.
I woke up in Tokyo 3.5 hours ago, would you believe? And here I am now on the other side of the country. Good morning, lads.
Good morning to you too, sir. Ready?
The 3 Hioki Scotiers. That's going to catch on. Let's do it. We arrived at Iguin Station and were discussing some tactics when this legend arrived. Tatsuya Ishihara. We met him as Kanosuke's finance and operations manager, but he's since become head of brand advocacy.
It's the 60th anniversary or something. So that's
Our
why
first stop,
So this is
the Hioki Hachiman Shrine. For generations, the Komasa family has produced the sacred rice shochu dedicated to this shrine. The company's flagship shochu brand, Mellowed Kozuru, is modelled on a carved wooden crane that's kept here. Having paid our respects to the gods, it's time to check out Kanosuke's Hioki Distillery and take a deep dive into the history and production processes behind the grain whiskey we'll be selecting today. Founded in 1883, Komasa Jozo is first and foremost a maker of shochu, Japan's indigenous spirit. The 4th generation head of the company, Yoshitsugu Komasa, was struggling to sell their shochu overseas and thought whiskey would open more doors. So, in November 2017, he established the Kanosuke Distillery.
We can make.
You're going to make?
Yeah.
President Komasa has always had big plans to make genuine Japanese whiskey, including grain whiskey, something only the big players in Japan have historically been able to do. In 2020, Komasa Jozo acquired a grain whiskey license for their existing Hioki distillery, the company's main manufacturing plant for their shochu and shochu-based gin. Sweet potato shochu is produced during the latter half of the year, and the scale is quite something.
37.5 ton per day.
Wow.
Compared to whiskey, the volume is totally different here.
It's absolutely incredible being here and seeing the guys hard at work to make that delicious shochu.
Well, they may be cooking the rice for us now.
Looking forward to lunch now. Shochu and how it's made here is important for one very good reason, as Tatsu explains.
So basically, we use all the same facilities for grain whiskey making.
During the winter, the distillery focuses on barley and rice shochu production.
This still is made of wooden stills, so it is very rare. Oh, this is powerful. This is what we call sweet shochu.
Ooh, that is imo shochu.
Yeah, okay.
Grain whiskey is produced during the shochu off-season, roughly February to June. The team at the Hioki Distillery applied their shochu-making know-how to this new venture. Most of the infrastructure they needed was already here. They just added a few pieces of equipment and were ready to make grain whiskey. Malt whiskey production in Japan closely follows the Scottish textbook for the most part, but grain whiskey production is terra incognita, meaning each producer has developed uniquely individual processes that are often a well-kept secret. Hioki's grain whiskey is batch distilled and made entirely from barley. One batch is 6 tons, much larger than the batch sizes at their nearby Kanosuke Distillery.
グレーウイスキーの材料ですけども、麦芽と大麦、これは殻を剥いた大麦です。
The majority of the mash bill is unmalted, dehusked Turo barley, all domestically grown, with a small percentage of imported malted barley.
まずモルトを粉砕して水と一緒にこのタンクに入れます。あとイーストです。グレーンウイスキー用の酵母を使います。
The unmalted barley is steeped, steamed, cooled, and then sent to a fermentation tank outside. These tanks are the same ones used to make shochu and are fitted with water jackets for temperature control. The malted barley mash is combined with the unmalted barley mash, and the whole mixture is left to ferment for 7 days, resulting in a slurry with an ABV of 15%. The wash slurry is then double distilled in stainless steel pot stills. For this, 2 6,000 litre stills are used that can switch between vacuum and atmospheric distillation. For grain whiskey production, vacuum distillation is used. Like a mad scientist's laboratory. This place is incredible.
もちろん焼酎も蒸留しますし、グレーンウイスキーもこの2つを使って蒸留します。
After the first distillation, the low wines average about 25% ABV. These are then distilled again, resulting in a grain spirit with an ABV of around 65%.
もろみ蒸圧、スピリット減圧とか、そういう組み合わせも面白いなと思いますし、逆もあるのかな。
We should expect some more experiments over time.
Yes.
Not just the yeast, not just the barley bag, you're changing the type of distillation that you use.
And of course, we may change the cask as well. So we just have 2, but we may change it. There's so much possibility in our grain whiskey now.
At Kanosuke Distillery, the new make is then filled into wood at still strength, in ex-bourbon barrels and virgin oak puncheons, and aged. A Hioki pot still expression was launched in December 2023, joining the flagship single malt Kanosuke on the shelves. Then came the next obvious step, a double distillery blended whiskey which made its debut in February 2024, rounding out the company's core range. I came here expecting to select a single cask for our bottling, and that alone would have been amazing. But I'm in for an epic surprise. Since Hioki grain whiskey is actually matured in 2 different cask types, virgin American oak puncheons and ex-bourbon barrels, we persuaded the Kanosuke team to let us bottle 1 of each. Result: time to extract some puncheon samples, but we need the right tools for the job. Trust a legend like Ishihara-san to have a Valinge just lying around in his car.
It's my private one.
A private Valinge, absolutely fantastic. First up, HG56. On the bottom tier of the rack. This is young liquid, around 3 years old.
楽しみですね。Next.
Guys, what are you thinking so far? So we're taking some cask samples from the lower rack, the middle rack, and the upper rack. You can hear Nakamura-san on the ladder there. What's your sense?
I think we'll be among the first to taste the difference between these various locations in the warehouse.
And while warm, it smells wonderful in here.
It really does. It's the aroma is helping us offset the heat, which is pretty intense, but well worth it. An incredible experience. And a rare opportunity, actually, to understand what racking at different levels really does to the spirit.
Yeah, absolutely. And these are all matured in the same cask type. They're all puncheons. So it's basically just the location. So I'm looking forward to that.
Fantastic. We drove back to the Kanosuke Distillery, overlooking beautiful Fukiage Beach. Right next door are 4 warehouses used for aging Kanosuke malt whiskey, with more Hioki grain whiskey in Warehouse 1. 3 other Hioki grain samples had already been selected for us from ex-bourbon casks HG178, HG188 and HG274. So now we're actually at the Kanosuke Distillery itself. We're going to head up and try those samples. First up, we're starting with those 3 Hioki ex-bourbon cask samples from Warehouse 1.
So we have 1 sample from the middle tier, so to speak, and then we have 2 cask samples from the low tier. So yeah, we'll dive straight in and see what we have here.
What else is good?
Oh,
That's it. Done.
I feel that the middle one is the sweetest one.
Yeah.
Bubble. Yeah, so.
I know we said that we weren't going to say, this is the one, immediately, although Roland did say this is the one.
Yeah.
at the beginning. Like 3 barrels, please. I also have a very strong feeling about one of them.
188 is a very sweet profile. Yeah, very sweet custard, creme brulee. But 178 has a bit more going on.
188 will be more universal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm saying that it's going to be the one that people will turn to more easily, and I think will have wider appeal. I mean, for me, 188 is more classically a grain whiskey.
If you add a little bit of water, there's much more spice in the finish.
It makes it more viscous.
Yeah.
188. I haven't added any water to 188, and somehow it's transformed. It feels a lot spicier. In fact, this feels like I'm trying a different track. I'm not liking what water has done to 178 actually.
No,
I'm not feeling it.
No, it's softer, right? It's tamed a little bit.
水足して思ったのが、焼酎の設備使ってやってるグレーンウイスキーなので、ちょっと今多めに水を入れたんですけど、やっぱこう、らしさの方が、ちょっとセットこうかな、伸びやかというか、フレーバーサイドのこう、肉肉もいいですね、スパイシー。
Let's move on to the
Functions.
Agreed.
Moving on to our puncheon samples that we extracted earlier in the day from casks HE 56, 62 and 88 in the warehouse next to the Hioki Distillery.
I'm really excited to be trying finally the liquid that we saw at the start of the day, Nakamura-san take out of those barrels. On the nose, fantastic.
For me, the 88 is most expressive, most spicy.
62 is punchy.
すごいやつだったですね。
62 at the top. You think 88 is the most mellow of the three. And whiskey.
It's the nicest all round, I think.
Yeah.
Oh,
Mendoza's. Yeah, Mendoza alone, people are going to be like,
Yeah.
is this bird?
no off notes on the nose.
It's very Moorish.
Yeah.
I keep wanting to go back to it, and I keep wanting to pull myself more.
Yeah.
And that's a good sign.
And the finish is good. Great finish.
Long and lingering as opposed to long and annoying. To borrow a phrase.
And it just has that really nice butterscotch. Where's candy?
It's that real sea salt, kombu, the sort of salt you associate from, a warehouse by the sea.
The more I drink this is my favorite of all six.
This is absolutely fantastic.
And the two casks that we like best from the two different types of grain whiskey made at Hioki Distillery. One is 88 and one is 188.
Large. But things are about to get larger. Stefan experiments blending the 188 ex-bourbon with the 88 puncheon sample.
We can keep on following it.
Stefan, what's going on here? You're making happy noises.
So I tried finding them together in about a 5 to 5 ratio, and this is phenomenal. Just, yeah, absolutely stunning. More than the sum of its parts, for sure.
Master blender Van Eycken hands a glass to Roland. The whiskey seafood. What's the verdict?
Very nice. You get all of the flavors of both together, so it's much more a rounder expression.
It has more depth.
Yes. Yes.
一番いいかもしれない。すごい嬉しいです。
So it's not.
My turn. Ooh. We've got that sweetness from the 88 and that depth and spice from the 188 mixed wonderfully together. I think this is a winner, actually.
You can discover it as is bourbon and puncheon, but then you also have an option at home
to try for yourself what you like. It's a little bit of a blending experience.
Sweet with these put on. What we're going to do, okay, we're going to add a bubble now, a budget, and the remaining we keep it and mix it with the malt distillate.
Oh,
And finish it.
that's a great idea.
And then that's going to be okay. Single cask malt and grain blended release later on.
Oh, that's great.
Oh yeah, it's not it's a continuation.
This already epic project just went to a whole new level. We now have a third bottle for Ghost Series number 23.
That's a great idea.
Job well done. We headed next door to see where our ex-bourbon samples came from. This is a Mizunara Head, very special cask. Wow.
Old grain whiskey. And we use the panchon cask and the bourbon casks, bourbon barrels.
As we can see, the bottom two tiers are bourbon barrels and the upper two tiers are puncheons.
This is it, cask 188 from the bottom tier of warehouse number 1. And then a serendipitous discovery in the form of an ex-umeshu cask. Umeshu is Japan's ume liqueur. We realised this was our chance to give the umeshu wood a place in the Ghost Series spotlight, and the fine folks at Kanosuke agreed. That is fantastic.
Thank you so much.
Okay, let's bottle this. We had our finishing cask for our blended whiskey. Nice one.
Judo. I was ex-judo player.
A couple of months after picking our casks, Tatsuya gave us some unexpected news. Our project had been so top secret that cask 188 had inadvertently been used for the Hioki single grain.
And so we lost that one. We thought this was actually very funny and fitting for the Ghost theme, a cask that we had chosen, but then actually disappeared and we had to find a different one. For Mac, this was a big headache because he was like, how are we gonna, make that into a video?
How indeed. You watch us tasting whiskey all over again. Kanosuke gave us 5 other ex-bourbon Hioki grain samples to choose from, all from the same warehouse as the late lamented cask 188.
They were all very young. They were all sister casks, as they're called, in the same area, in the same warehouse. But, even in that short period of time, 3 years and a bit, they developed in rather different directions.
Roland, Stefan and I analysed them independently in separate locations.
Love that nose. Very balanced.
Ooh. Eureka! I've found it. So I've made my decision. Now I need to check that it tallies with Stefan and Roland's thoughts.
Oh, this may be the one.
Beautiful. Winner.
And the winner is cask 287. 287 replaces 188 for the Hioki grain, aged in a bourbon barrel, and we have 88, which was aged in an American white oak puncheon. It's with the greatest pride, pomp and circumstance that Kanpai Planet presents to you Ghost Series number 23, the first ever triptych featuring grain whiskey from Hioki Distillery in Kagoshima, Japan. First up, 200 bottles from Hioki Grain Puncheon number 88. Next, 200 bottles from Hioki Grain Bourbon Barrel number 287. And then a single blended cask of HG88 and HG287 married with cask strength single malt Kanosuke in a fresh Komasa Jozo ex-umeshu cask PL04 for 10 months. This cask had contained an umeshu blend made from plum varieties grown in Nara Prefecture.
For this bottling, I selected print number 36 in Yoshitoshi's series, the final one called The Heavy Basket. It's a variation on the classic karma story. A good man commits good deeds He chooses the small basket and then gets great fortune. A bad man chooses the bigger, heavier basket. All sorts of monsters come out. You really don't want to be that guy. This is in fact the first Ghost release that will be in foreign markets, so we felt this good versus bad theme would resonate with people.
Ghost Series number 23 Triptych was officially released in Japan on the 3rd of March 2025, with priority given to selected bars, followed by a targeted global rollout, again with a focus on the on-trade.
We did this, the three of us together, and we had so much fun doing this. For me, first and foremost, it embodies the spirit of friendship and of collaboration.
So now you know, the journey to this special bottling is indeed a saga.
I'd buy this.
Shout out to Kanosuke. These guys are incredible. They love whiskey. They love making whiskey, thinking about it, drinking it, sharing it. This historic Ghost Series Triptych is a testament to craftsmanship, serendipity, friendship, and a simple shared love of Japanese whiskey. Until next time, Kanpai.